Hi, everybody. Hey, Coach Steve here, and I want to welcome you to another session, or another volume, or another episode of Low Profile, High Profit Nation.com. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and I'm glad you guys are here. So, here's the deal. I want to talk to you about something a little, maybe it's a little off the beaten path, but I think it is going to speak volumes to some of you because you've probably struggled for a long time with trying to find the right fit for you. Maybe you wonder whether or not online marketing is for you because it produces such anxiety in you. You feel ill at ease when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to dealing with some of the learning curve, if you will, when it comes to not knowing how to make all this stuff work. And not only how to make it all work, but how to put it together so that it can be effective. And one of the things that I am going to recommend that you check out and you get in touch with for yourself is your personality type. I am actually I want to recommend that you take a personality test and find out how you can get to your genius state. What type of environment is conducive for your particular genius state? It's no secret that some people are extroverts and some people are introverts. I am an introvert. I'm a thinker, okay? So I'm a thinker. I'm what's called an INTP. I'm an introvert. I'm intuitive. I'm an analytical thinker, and I'm a perceiver. So that means that I am quite at home just thinking of stuff and trying to figure things out. I become very frustrated when I discover incongruencies, inconsistencies, and things of that nature. I have a lot of questions. I get frustrated when I guess I'm a little bit of a perfectionist type deal. So when I can't understand something or when I can't make something work the way it's supposed to work, and I can't just like pick it up, boom, just like that, I get a little bit frustrated. And I don't want to, but besides that, I have like an attention deficit disorder, so I'm easily distracted. So whenever I need to come up with a genius idea, or something along those lines, my friend, I have to create an environment that is conducive to me being successful in that area. I just have to. So anything that kind of like throws me off or ticks me off or just gets me out of my genius state, I don't really feel like I want to deal with it. I'm 57 now, so I take license a lot of places, and if I don't feel like dealing with something, or if I don't feel like dealing with a certain person, I just don't deal with them. If I'm around someone who is disrespectful and insulting and whatnot, well, see, I feel like I can control that. And the way I control it is, I just don't have to be around that person. Boom, piece of cake. And it's nothing personal or anything like that. I'm just a little bit weird like that. And it took me a long time to embrace my personality type. And there's a lot of research. And until I found the research, and until I found and embraced the characteristics of my personality, and my personality type, I thought something was wrong. I thought something was wrong with me. For number one, I'm not very good at small talk. Because I'm usually like thinking about stuff and people think I'm, stuck up or something like that. But I'm not. I'm thinking about this really cool stuff. In my mind, it's cool anyway. But and I don't have a lot to. I don't always have a lot to say or contribute to small talk. I wish I did sometimes, but I don't most of the time. It's a little awkward. I'm sometimes socially inept, so it makes it difficult when it comes to like making videos, doing anything that's has to do with like really dealing with people. Even though I'm a coach, even though I'm a certified cognitive behavioral therapist, even though this is what I've done for the last 35 almost years as a profession, by the time the day is over, when I was working when I was working for someone else, okay, so I've owned my own business since 2005. At this point, I am psychologically unemployable. I just can't. I can't do the old style, traditional therapy type of thing. By the end of the day, by the end of the week, I'm peopled out. So, and it took me a long time to figure out what's wrong with me. So I found out that I'm an INTP. That's my personality type. And by the way, I want to encourage you. I'm going to leave a link at the bottom of this video. It would be great if you just found out what your personality type. It only takes about 10 minutes, if that long. These guys will tell you what your personality type is, and once you start to read your profile, you'll be amazed at some of the behavior that has already been documented. And you'll be amazed that somebody has taken the time to kind of like, read your mail, tell you about how you are and what your personality type is like. It may not be 100% accurate, because sometimes I'm able to present as an extrovert. Sometimes everybody thinks that I'm an extrovert initially. Only my close friends know, and the people who are closest to me, only they know that I am really an introvert, and I would prefer, I isolate. I tend to isolate intentionally, and the best way to, even in my business, the best way to get in touch with me is to text me. That's my number one preferred method. If you really don't want to talk to me and you really don't want to have to just call me. If you call me, I probably won't answer. I'll let it go to voicemail, and then I'll text you back. That's kind of the way it goes. I don't like talking on the phone. I certainly don't like. People would always call and say, "Steve, let's do lunch, Coach." And it's always like, I kind of work through lunch, if you don't mind. So I'm super busy. Can we kind of like, can we deal with this on by text? And that would be hard to do if I worked for someone. But being that I own my own company for all this since 2005, I'm able to do that. And it works for me. And it works for most people now. So I've kind of caught up with the technology, and it's kind of cool. I like it. Anyway, not to get off topic, because that's one of the things I do. I go off on a tangent, go off on a rabbit. Yeah, I'm scattered. And I ramble all over the place. That's why I don't like public speaking, especially if I have to stay on point. No matter whether I have notes PowerPoint, it doesn't matter. Something is going to come up in the script that, oh, there's a great story I need to tell you about that point. And all of a sudden, as I'm telling the story, expounding on whatever the deal is, something else, I think of something else while I'm involved in that, while I'm telling you that. And then I go off on another tangent. I call it a second generation tangent. And sometimes I would have my people in one of my classes, I would actually identify people. I tell them that I have a tendency to go off on tangents right at the beginning of the class, and I would identify someone to remind me of my initial tangent. And then I would have someone else to count off and remind me of my second generation tangent, and a third person for a third generation tangent. And sometimes, dude, I'll forget what I was even talking about. They have to tell me. They can go back and retrace my steps and tell me what I was talking about in the first place, the point I was attempting to make before I got way over here, kind of like I'm doing now. but at any rate, so I've come to the point where I kind of know myself in that regard. I'm 57. At some point in time, come on, man, you're gonna have to embrace what you are, or try to improve it. One of the ways I try to improve it is by accepting it, and it's telling people up front, you're really gonna have to pay attention during my class because I have a tendency to blah 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 blah. And you know what the deal is? And I'll tell you something really interesting. Over half the people who would sit in one of my classes usually for substance abuse can relate to what I'm talking about. They do the same thing. And then when I talk about, so like when I was younger, much younger, in college and whatever, I would love to go out. I'd love to go to like a party or something like that, but I could only go if I got high first, or if I, drank first, and I try to get myself loosened up, so to speak, to go and not be as awkward and feel comfortable, relatively speaking. And dude, I definitely did not. I don't like to dance. I don't like to dance. I definitely had to be intoxicated, at least buzzing, to even think about dancing. So that's how I got into a lot of my substance abuse in my early years. Stands to reason. That's how, and most people who work in my field, substance abuse and all that type of thing, we have some history with substances ourselves. And so, at any rate, let's get back to what I was talking about in the first place, which was, I'm going to leave a link for you to go and check out, take a personality test, and just out of curiosity, just see what it comes up with, and take it. It's a free test. So take the test, check it out, and see what your personality type is, and see if it rings true for you. And once you find out what it is, then you got a decision to make. Are you gonna go through the process of trying to change yourself and change your behavior and change your personality? Number one, do you know how freaking difficult that is? It's just how you're wired, man. So you can accept it, or you can go on to try and change it, or you can learn to make it work for you. And so one of the things I have done is to try and make my personality type work for me. I'm an INTP, okay, and it's a kind of weird. I think it's only 25% of the population are my personality type. But once you take the test, you'll see what you are, And then you have to figure out if you want to, if you're serious about an online business and being successful at it. There are many ways that you can work around all of that stuff, and there are many ways that you can make your little idiosyncrasies work for you. And it would be a good thing to figure that stuff out. Or if you need a coach to help you figure it out, that's what I do, Coach Steve. So anyway, I hope that you just really check that out and see what's going to work best for you, because all things are not going to work for you, especially if you have not embraced who you are and your proclivities, the things that you like doing, the things you enjoy doing. For me, if I don't want to do something, if I don't feel like doing it, I am going to procrastinate. I'm going to put it off for as long as humanly possible. And then my back is against the wall. And then I got to come up with something. And I got some things going on right now that I got a deadline of the 24th. And here I am in Thailand, and I've got a deadline that I have to meet. I have to have a bid on a contract back in the States. It has to be in-house, stamped with all that stuff that you got to put on the envelope. It's got to be there. So I'm kind of putting it off because I don't really want to do it. It's a piece of cake to do. I've been doing them since 2005. Every 3 years you got to rebid, blah, 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 blah. But I don't like doing it. But I got to do it. It's not even a question of whether or not I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I may even start working on it today after I shoot this video. But it's not anything I want to do. So I put it off and put it off until I got to do it. And now I'm under the gun. And I'm under pressure. And I've got to come through in the clutch, as always. So I know that about me. And so I don't stress out too badly about it. But believe it or not, if I know that, like I used to have a group that met every Tuesday, and because I had that group that met on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, I'd be stressed out from the time I would start getting stressed out on Monday evening, knowing that Tuesday's coming. Now, listen, I've been doing this stuff a long time, and all I gotta do is just go. And once I get going, I'm okay. But just knowing that I have to be a certain place at a certain time, I've gotta, blah, blah, blah. That is just that becomes so stressful for me that I usually end up getting somebody else to do that kind of stuff for me, and so that I don't have to do the deal with people for an hour. But you know what? Well, once I get started, I kind of forget. I lose track of time, like I'm doing with this video, and it's okay. It's okay. I've been putting off this video for forever. but here we are. So again, I want to encourage you to go check out your personality type and see. Just check it out and see if you are able to embrace who you are. If you are able to embrace how you're wired. And many of you have kids. You can't quite figure them out. You're taking them to psychologists and stuff like that, and you want to know can you fix my child? What's wrong with he just sits and thinks he's all in his head all the time. He'd rather be sitting alone thinking about stuff than being around the family. Everybody else is having a good time, and he is off by himself someplace. Is everything okay? Parents get like that sometimes. So anyway, I'm just letting you know that that's kind of the way it goes. But all is not lost, my friend. There is a way for you to use that. To use that as a gift and a talent that you have. You just hadn't recognized it as such because people don't get you. People don't understand you. People don't, they don't understand why you're not there at the family function, why you're, they don't get it. Why are you so antisocial? And by the way, that's not what that word means. But I don't know why people started using that term to describe a person who doesn't want to be around, people all the time, and who is pretty much, you keep your feelings and everything close to your chest, and you don't deal with everybody knowing every little bit of your business and all that kind of stuff. Very private person, but you prefer being in smaller group situations where you're around people that you like, that you have something in common with. They have something in common with you. They are interested in the stuff that you're interested in, and your interest could vary. Your interest could be a vast array, a deep, deep ocean of things, from sports to music to history, all kinds of stuff. You're all over the map with the kind of things that you enjoy. So it becomes and so if that's the case, and people are talking about things that are really exciting to you, or that you find exciting, you may be more inclined to be the engaging type, or not, depending on what day it is and what time of the day it is, and what you've got going on, and what you have coming up that day that may or may not have you stressed out. Anxiety. Some of the stuff is really, really anxiety inducing. So just so you know, you are not alone. And I think the best thing for you is not really knowing you. And when I say I think the best thing for you, I'm just in generalities. And I say that because the best thing for you might be for you to be in a situation where you can always control your environment. That's one of the things I love about owning my own business. I can pretty much control my own environment. And that's what I do most of the time. I'm here in Thailand right now. And man, I love it. I just absolutely love it here. Except for the dogs. I don't like the dogs who, evidently, I don't have a vendetta. I don't know what the deal is with the dogs here. They just kind of like pick me out to be the one that they're going to try to intimidate. But the American in me is just like, it's like I cannot accept anybody trying to bully me. It's just like, ugh. And so what the deal is I'm going to tell you, okay, this is a great example. So what happens is, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but that's okay. This is important. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. But I didn't put it in notes because I knew that I'd get it all mixed up. So I'll allow it to come out organically. Anyway, so these dogs, man, they start trying to intimidate me, coming at me, charging at me aggressively. And so I had to start carrying like a stick. I should have brought one of my sticks up here. One of my sticks is so big, it's like a Buford Pusser stick. You guys saw the movie and Walking Tall or something like that. Buford Pusser carried a giant. Well, anyway, I have a large stick, and I call it it's an excessive force stick, because if I hadn't had to use it, all I have to do is threaten to use it, and the dogs kind of like chill out. They see the stick and they start walking towards me, and then I go into baseball stance like I'm getting ready to knock them out the park. But I'm just saying, I have to defend myself, because I cannot afford to get bitten by a dog and have to go get stitches and go through all that stuff. So it's better to just be prepared, and be prepared to meet the threat with force. The best kind of fight is the fight that you win. And so my whole mentality is, dogs, don't mess with me. Don't start nothing. It won't be nothing. As in African American vernacular. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing, man. Everything is cool. I'm not bothering you. Don't try to intimidate me. Because I'm already mentally prepared for a fight. I don't want to have to do that because generally speaking, I'm a nice guy. However, deep down inside, I've pretty much always been an asshole, a jerk. But that was years and years ago. That was in the old days. But I've mellowed out since I'm getting older now, and I don't really feel like have to. So if I don't feel like dealing with the dogs that particular day, I just don't deal with them. I'll turn around and go another direction, or if I don't feel like walking, I don't feel like having to go through that crap. I may just skip the walk. Because if I know I've got to get something done, and I need to have my mind in a certain place to get it done, and I don't need to be putting myself in a situation that I have to get jacked up and pumped up and ready for a fight, loaded for bear, as they say, I may not deal with it. I may go ahead and get my video done and not deal with all of that crap. Not because I'm scared or anything like that. I got the stick, remember? I've got a huge stick, and a guy told me, man, just stoop down and act like you're picking up a rock, and they'll scatter. And you know what? They do. They do. But I may not feel like doing that. I may not feel like going through all of that because it takes too much. It takes me out of my genius state. It takes me out of it. And if I get out of it, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get my bearings back so that I can do what I have to get done. So I have just basically, I said all that just to say, if you are a person who pretty much has to be in control of your environment, you can take control of your environment by avoiding a situation that you just don't feel like dealing with. You can handle it easily. It's no problem. If there is a fight with the dogs, then I'm gonna win the fight. It's no problem with that. That's not the issue. The issue is, do I feel like getting my brain all jacked up to get in a fight when I need to be coming up with the next great idea that I'm going to present to my customers, that I'm going to present to my clients? I have to be in a certain, by the way, I'm a musician also. And the same thing is the same thing. You have to, for the creative genius to expose himself, for Coach Steve to come to bear, I have to be in a certain state, mentally, emotionally, which is one of the reasons I came to Thailand. Once again, I was dying in the States. I had gone through a bunch of stuff, and I just needed to be in a place where I could, take control of my psyche. I got to be in control of it. And I get offended when people try to come into a place that is sacred to me. And that is the old noggin up there, buddy. I don't appreciate it, so I have to be very, very careful with that. And if I do let you in there, you can't be romping around in my head like a bull in a china shop, as they say. That's just not cool at all. So when people take advantage of that kind of stuff, it very intolerant. You don't get back in. You get one chance to mess with my head. One. And if you blow it, you're not getting back in there. It's just, no offense, no harm meant. I hope no harm taken, no offense taken, but it's just how I have to kind of like protect my genius state. And because that's how I make a living. And don't mess with my ability to make a living. Come on, man. So show some respect. Come on, dogs. Show some respect. I'm a guest here. Don't treat me like that, barking at me and charging at me like, dude, no. No, I'm not the one. I'm not the guy. You picked the wrong person to try and victimize. I just don't play it. Okay, but anyway, look at how long I've been talking about these freaking dogs, you know? But anyway, back to you and your online business. All of this relates back to you once again. I just want you to grab hold of whatever you need to do. It's you become more insightful about who you are, what motivates you. You'll be able to always turn yourself on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off whenever you need to. And isn't that really what you want to do? You want to turn it on and off? You want to control when you turn it on, when you turn it off. You are in control of that. But in order for you to be in control, you kind of need to, find out who you are and find out what your genius state is and how and what type of situation causes you to get there. You got to set the mood, my friend. You got to set the mood for yourself. And then you can be more able to identify the programs that are out there, the income opportunities that are out there that kind of like fit what you're all about. They fit what you're all about. You feel comfortable with it. You enjoy it. It's something that you can enjoy, something that you can do, and that you like doing, you enjoy doing. You can look forward to it, and all of a sudden, it's not work. It's not work because you really, really enjoy what you're doing. Find something that you love to do, you'll never work again. Let's go back. Find something that you love to do, that you can get paid for doing, that you would actually do for free, honestly. But we all know that's not realistic. So you got to get paid for it. But you love doing it. And guess what? You'll never work again because you love what you do. And that's what we want to help you locate and identify in your wonderful life so that you can excel in every area. So I used to have a website called the Apex Mindset, where you are at the top of your game. It's all up here. It's all up in your noggin, and you can control that. You can position yourself to be in control of what's going on up here. And that, my friend, is what I want to encourage you to do. And if you are an introvert like me, it is. I have failed at so many of these opportunities. Fail. Everybody else was doing it. And people think, oh man, you're so Steve, yeah, you're so outgoing, blah, 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 blah. We want you to be in our MLM and blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff all over the years. And they just don't realize, man, that is not, I don't want to do that. I don't want to come to those. I don't want to come to your meeting and listen to all these guys. I don't want to talk to any of my family members about, what. So I'd rather pay for traffic. so you know what I mean? And so at any rate, I want you to be on top of that and just give yourself a chance to be successful. And you can be successful if you're able to identify who you are, what you want, what you are good at, the things that you don't want to do. Sometimes you just got to get over it. You got to figure out a way to get it done, to get the deal done. And that's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Everybody, that's a part of just being an adult. A friend of mine told me, Steve, it's okay to grow up. Just. And that was like only last year that one of my really, really good friends told me that I've known for 34 years or so. And I had to think about that because she never tells me, she never just speaks idle words to me, over me. She really says everything she has told me has been on the money, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. No, everything. I never wanted an argument with her. I never wanted an argument. As a matter of fact, when I would be talking to her about how I feel about stuff and the fact that maybe I'm going to be I'll be isolating. I'm going to be isolating this weekend, whatever. She's the one who told me I was an introvert, and I went and looked it up. Just like I'm encouraging you to look yourself up, I went into, and I was like, damn, if she wasn't right. She was right on the money. She was right on the money, because she's an introvert too, and everything that I was describing to her, she was like, yeah. So anyway, you need to check it out for yourself. Take the test. It's free. You'll see the link below. I want you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. It's a little bit weird, that I connect this mental stuff, psychological stuff, personality hacking type stuff. It's weird that I kind of connect that together and connect it with an online business and internet marketing and whatnot. But the point is, if you are a person who needs to be in control of your environment, be in control of what you do and when you do it, you need to be working for yourself, my friend. You need to be able to produce income yourself and not be tied down in misery. Chained by misery. That's right. And that's what it's like for us sometimes when we have to go in and do a job that we are miserable in. Maybe it's not the job we're doing that's miserable. It's just that we have to be there at a certain time, and you just feel like you want to be doing something else, and you'd like to, schedule your own time. You may figure out that you are more productive in the mornings than you are in the afternoons. But because you working for the man, you can't really control that. You got to be there when he says be there. But if you are the man for yourself, guess what? Boom. You get to make those decisions a lot of times. Sometimes there just ain't no way. There's no way to get around it. You just got to do it, and you got to suck it up and put on your big boy drawers and do what's got to be done and get it over with and make it seem like you're having a good time. Bring out your chameleon man to play and be happy and front and put on the charade and do whatever's got to be done for a very limited time, for a limited time only, and then you can go back. And I'll tell you what I do. This is what I do. If I'm driving to a place and I really don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it, but I gotta do it. There is no other way. I gotta do it. I gotta go to do a session. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do something public. I have to introduce somebody. I gotta blah blah blah. Whatever. One of the things. Okay, so you put it off and you dread it for a week. Okay, and as you're driving to the venue, to wherever it is that you gotta go, as you're driving there, I imagine myself driving home and it being all over, all behind me, and I get home, take off the uncomfortable clothes that I don't want to wear, and getting into stuff that I enjoy.